Would you like to serve barbecue baked beans anytime you want, but you don't have time to devote to get that slow cooked flavor? Well, I have a solution for you. Today, I'm going to show you how to make my flavorful barbecued beans, and the great thing is, you can stash some in your freezer. Keep watching and I'll show you how to freeze baked beans so you can enjoy them as a delicious side dish anytime. Grab your apron and let's get started. You probably have most of these ingredients already in your kitchen. They're very basic, but you put them all together and the result is mouth-watering, yummy baked beans. Of course, you're going to need canned pork and beans, some green pepper, onion, delicious bacon, some apple cider vinegar, barbecue sauce, a little dry mustard, and some brown sugar. The first thing we're going to do is fry some bacon. Put your bacon into a cold skillet and then cook it low and slow so it will render more drippings. We're going to use those drippings to saute the onion and the green pepper. While the bacon's frying, you can chop the onion and the green pepper. We've talked in other videos about the convenience and the time savings of having chopped onion and green pepper already in your freezer. If you have some in your freezer, this is an ideal recipe to use that in. While the onions and peppers are sauteing, you can open the cans of beans, measure out your other ingredients, the barbecue sauce, the apple cider vinegar, the dry mustard, and of course the brown sugar. I've got a couple of tips for you on brown sugar. With brown sugar, you always want to firmly pack it all the way into your measuring cup. The second tip is, if your measuring cup will fit into your bag of brown sugar, put the measuring cup in there, twist it around and fill it up with brown sugar, and then use the exterior of the bag, your fingers, to press it in. You end up with a packed container of brown sugar with no mess on your hands or your countertop. If you're enjoying this video, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe for a variety of yummy recipes that will help you eat better and spend less time in the kitchen. The bacon finished cooking, so I removed it from the pan. I've put it on the plate with paper towels to drain, and I will try not to eat any of it, which is the hard part for me. If I weren't going to use this bacon drippings to saute the onion and green pepper, I'd be saving this for future recipes. Bacon drippings make an incredible flavor difference in your recipes. It's seriously liquid gold. After we finish cooking these baked beans, I'm going to show you how you can save bacon drippings, plus some ideas for recipes that you could use them in to really amp up the flavor. So be sure and keep watching. So we're going to saute the onions and green peppers for about 5 to 7 minutes till tender. Stir the beans and seasonings into the sauteed onion and green pepper and bring it to a simmer. In case you're wondering what simmering is, it is barely boiling. You'll see a few small tiny bubbles slowly rising to the top. Once you have it simmering, then you're ready to pour it into your baking dish and pop it in the oven. Okay, the beans came to a simmer. I chopped the bacon and stirred that in, and I've put it into a greased baking dish. Now we're going to bake it uncovered at 325 till the beans are bubbly and the sauce has thickened, about an hour to an hour and 20 minutes. Well, the beans finished baking, so my husband grilled some burgers and we enjoyed a great meal. When you thaw the beans, you may find that the sauce is a little thicker than you like, but you could thin it with some water before you reheat them. But be real careful when you stir them, because once the beans have been frozen, they're very delicate. Okay, on to bacon drippings. And maybe you're wondering, why should I even save bacon drippings? Because they're liquid gold. They add so much flavor to so many recipes, like fried potatoes, hash browns, eggs. I use it to saute onion and jalapeno when I'm making queso. So let me show you real quick how to save bacon drippings. Unfortunately, unfortunately, I don't have any because we used it in the baked beans, but I can show you how to do it. Of course, you've fried your bacon. Take that out of the pan. Let the drippings cool just a little bit. You want them to still be liquid, but you don't want them to set up. Get some type of a jar. Put a little paper towel on the top of it. I usually hook mine on with a rubber band. And this paper towel is going to help strain out the little bits of bacon that might cause your drippings to spoil. Spoon the drippings in here, let it strain through, and there, remove the paper towel, add a nice tight fitting lid on it, and you're ready to store this in your refrigerator or your freezer. As promised, let me give you a quick rundown of how I freeze bacon. When I see it on sale, I always try to buy a couple of packages and divide it up for the freezer. I use bacon mostly as an ingredient in recipes, not as a breakfast item, so I have found that 2 to 3 strips per package works well for how I cook. I do have a vacuum sealer, so I use that, which allows me to keep them for several months, but you could use aluminum foil, zip top bag, anything like that. One thing you're gonna like about having bacon strips in your freezer is they thaw in a matter of minutes. Baked beans from the freezer are so convenient to have anytime with barbecue or hamburgers. And speaking of hamburgers, check out my video on how to make homemade hamburger buns. Don't be intimidated. They are surprisingly easy. I'll walk you through every single step. And once you've had homemade hamburger buns, you will love how the grilled burgers you make are absolutely the best you've ever eaten.